Back on the mic.
Back on the mic. A year older, but we're back on the mic.
Yes, birthday Aaron Francis. My favorite Aaron Francis. Birthday Aaron Francis. The birthday
I've never been this old before.
So you were going to go away and have a night away, I think, last we discussed, right? That happened?
You know what I'm doing right after this podcast?
Oh, shit.
I'm going away. I'm going away.
That's right.
Yeah, I booked a hotel downtown. And so right after this, I'm gonna go back home and pack up some stuff, and then head downtown into the big city. And yeah, I've got a staycation all to myself. So I looked at the spa treatments, but they were like $400. So
oh, wow.
I think I'm not gonna do that.
Spa treatments, yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go down there, drop off my bags, go somewhere nice for lunch, and then hopefully get an early-ish check-in. And then I don't know, Ian, what do I do?
Boy, it's early. Should I not work right now for you, right?
I should not work, I think, is the plan.
Yeah, you're gonna be so tempted to work. So here's the thing: we got to work on you here. You need a couple hobbies, right? Because like this is where
can you imagine?
The poker comes in. You can Dallas has poker. You can go play poker. Or B, my other main hobby is photography, which would be perfect for this. You could be like on the streets of Dallas. You could be taking photos, finding cool shots, wandering around, out with the people. What about fun?
I do like to yuck it up with the normies, you know?
Yeah.
Make sure I'm still in touch with the common folk.
Here's what you need to do then.
Up here in my ivory apartment tower, you know?
You need to go find a camera store. There'll be one in there somewhere. Acquire a camera.
I got 6 cameras right out of shot here.
Yeah. Take one of those with you. Yeah. Take a camera.
Yeah, I really do have some pretty good walking around cameras. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Take a camera.
I'm not gonna take a camera. And then, because you know what happens. What? And maybe this is like the root issue that we need to fix. Actually, we don't need to fix anything. I'm doing great.
I'm
perfect.
Doing great. Everything's fine.
Yes. Here's what we need to fix.
In theory, theoretically.
If I were to go take a bunch of photos, immediately it becomes, all right, how do I edit the photos? How do I store the photos? How do I process the photos? How do I display the photos? How do I make money off of the photos?
Yeah,
see, it's like, it's not very many steps. It's like we go from having fun to digital asset management to sales.
Sure.
That's it.
But you could I also have that same train of thought, right? But I've never actually tried to sell the photos. Like I could sell the photos, but I haven't tried.
I don't like that.
Have my services available, but I haven't done that. Although, as we talked about, wanting to go this backside project idea of like equine photography, but whatever. I haven't actually done it.
Great idea.
Probably
not great idea.
Do it, right? You take the photos. It's quick to scan through them. You know the couple you're looking for that were good. You pick those ones out. You do a little editing in Lightroom. It's great.
And then what?
Then you could post them to Twitter. You could post them if you have Instagram or whatever. You can post them.
No.
You got them just for yourself. You don't have to post them. In the past, people didn't post them.
I can't imagine enjoying something quietly by myself. That makes no sense to me.
You could collect them up. I sort of had this idea in the back of my head too. Collect them up. Make a book. 4 years from now, make a book.
That's viable. I buy that.
Secret project. What a secret project! If you came out with a photo book.
I love a secret project.
People would lose their minds if you came out with
I wish I could tell you a secret project. There are 2 secret projects I'm working on right now, and I wish I could tell you, but they're great. They're great. They're great.
You gotta have an intervention for you, man. Intervention.
No. This is why it works.
The crew together.
No. We're not having an intervention.
Yeah.
It works. No, it's going great.
It's going fine. Are these secret projects? Are these code secret projects?
Oh, of course.
So you gotta get
one
off
of
that.
them.
You gotta have something that's not for work. You got to.
No, I don't know that works. So here's what I would do that's not for work.
Okay.
Is play Factorio. Play that video game.
You said you were gonna do that on this trip.
Yeah, and I might still do that, but the problem is with Factorio, it is work adjacent. Right. It feels like, let's go refactor some bases. And you're like, refactor some complicated systems. Wait a second. So it is adjacent. There are a few books that I want to read, so I'll bring a few books.
I was going to ask that. Okay.
maybe I'll do a little bit of writing. That's something I enjoy doing. I enjoy that.
Okay.
I have some time for that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
What about a vlog? Can you vlog it? I want to be along on this trip.
See, but then a vlog immediately goes back to this is work.
You
right?
have an editor though, so if you do the vlogging, the editor edits. You're good.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
You shouldn't do that. You should just.
I'm trying to relax, and we'll see if it's possible.
Bring a camera.
I'll bring a camera.
Yeah, just have it. You got like 6 hours before they're even gonna let you into the hotel. So like,
I know.
You gotta do something. You can't just sit if you sit in the coffee shop with your laptop, it's just gonna work.
Well, I could sit in the coffee shop with my laptop and just write. That's nice.
All right,
write about my hopes and dreams. Write a book.
You're not gonna do that. If you bring your laptop, you're gonna work. You're gonna check Twitter. You can't bring your laptop. So bring a journal. A pen,
okay. Yep.
Bring a camera. And bring a book. And go full hipster. You have no digital items, right? I mean, you have your phone if you're needed for something, right? But otherwise, no digital stuff. You could journal. You could read. Snap a few pictures. See what strikes you. Maybe something pulls you. Is the weather nice today? How's the weather?
The only thing I need to complete that ensemble right there, just a pack of cigs, man. I just need to sit at the cafe, burn through some cigarettes, literally. Write some stuff, change the world. That's a great idea.
Those they're still out there if you want to.
I know they're so gross though.
Your age group, I think you're supposed to be vaping.
No, that's a little bit below me.
Oh, is it below you?
Yeah, my age group is hipster, like American Spirit cigarettes.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. They're not Marlboro Reds, they're American Spirits.
Or maybe you roll your own. You acquire the tobacco and you're chopping it.
Yes,
you're rolling
that happened in college. We had friends who rolled their own cigarettes, and it was like
regular cigarettes.
Yes, definitely. It was like, what? This seems like a lot of effort, guys. But they also rode fixed gear bicycles, so it was it was a whole thing,
The whole team. There you go. You could rent I don't know if Dallas has that.
Okay, the last thing I'm doing is renting a bike and riding it around downtown Dallas. Of all the things I want to do, that is not on the list.
I love this idea. I love this. I want a photo with the journal and the pen, a nice moleskin. Get yourself a nice moleskin.
No, you see, I'm an Amazon Basics, yellow ruled paper guy. Yeah,
that's fine. That works.
I like that. That's good. It's a longitudinal journal. So I've got a couple years back right behind me. And
oh wow, you really do. So you're already doing this, so you could do that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, I'm an artisan. So
I still need to get you on the poker though, because the poker cuts off that step. You play it and you earn money. So you're making money and you're relaxed.
I know, and you get to feel superior because there is there's an actual mental, there's actual skill to the game.
Yes, but it's a different type of mindset. There is that competing, which you have in business, but it's totally different sort of. It's direct competition against the person across the table instead of this abstract, like everybody on the internet you're competing with, whatever bullshit.
Because boy, does that get exhausting to compete with everyone on the internet all the time. It's exhausting. It's starting to get a little exhausting, I must admit.
It is very exhausting. So this is I'm competing against this, what my brother would call a stupid face across from me. Right there, this stupid face right here, I'm going to beat this guy. That's what you do. It's old school.
I like that. That is pure. That's nice.
Pure.
Zero-sum game.
And Texas has great poker games. That's the other thing.
They named poker after us.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, we'll see. I do like the book journal, pen, optional cigarettes idea.
Yep.
That seems good. So yeah, I'm gonna head out right after this, spend one night, and then tomorrow I will see if I can get a late checkout. It's Tuesday, so hopefully. And then I'll come back. I'll leave the hotel and come back to the office, do a little bit of work, and then go home.
Right.
Because I'll probably have to check out at 11. So yeah, I'm excited. Jennifer did this for her birthday. Okay. So I don't know if this is the stage of life we're in, or emblematic of something else. But it's this is the best thing I could ever think of to do for my birthday.
Well, I say we have had to go to this quite a bit. I do have a hard time always convincing Jamie to do it, although I have succeeded a few times in it. But there's just like, because there's such a chasm. It's a literal chasm between you go away by yourself and you take a family trip with the whole crew and you pack them all up and you like
not even close, not even
like,
on the same side of the spectrum.
Right, exactly. So this is like it's so much easier, it's so much more relaxing, right? And the family trips are great, and like especially now I've been looking back at the photos of the family trips. I'm glad we did a lot of big trips and everything, and it's great. But you also just like it's impossible to get away the two of you, right? It's so much harder to even coordinate that. So it's like just once in a while you just go, like, again, I do the poker trip. She went to like Florence once and did like a cooking thing. She went to Arizona. So, whatever. Like, these are even bigger trips than what you're talking about. Yeah, we used to have the tiny kids. Like when they level up just like a little above tiny, then it's like, yeah, you could like go for 4 days somewhere, right? And like chill out. Go to
I'm not taking 2 1-year-olds anywhere for 4 days. I'm sorry. They're staying at home.
So having the individual trips, I do feel like is very nice.
We each have an individual trip that is like guaranteed to happen every year. So I have a guy's trip, she has a girl's trip. That happens every single year. I'd say maybe once a week or every other week she goes out on some weekday night to get her nails done. So it'll be like put the kids down, eat a quick dinner, and then she's gone. It's like that's super fun. I do like a guy's breakfast. I have I sneak out some mornings to do that. We alternate. We have a weekly Bible study. We alternate who goes to that because we're not going to pay $50 for some babysitter to come watch monitors every week.
Man, babysitter!
Oh, what a scam!
Oh man, I'm glad I'm out of the babysitter game. That was some big money we paid the babysitters.
Big money. And then I don't know if there's anything else. Oh, we do like a once a month supper club, like we've talked about, but we both go to that, and that's when we do pay a babysitter for. So I feel like we get our get out of the house, but you're right, it is very hard at this stage to get both of us out of the house because it's just like it's expensive, and sometimes it's logistically hard to find a babysitter that's like willing to watch 4 kids under 4.
Yeah, that's a big project. And it's like it's like there were definitely times like any amount of money. It's like there just isn't somebody to do it. Like we just don't have somebody for any amount of money. We can't require a person to come here and do this for an overnight or whatever. Or
it's a 17-year-old and they text you at 6:45 and they're supposed to be there at 7 and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't come tonight." And you're like,
we totally ditched all
what?
That. We never even did it. Once we got into the mix heavy with it, we were like, no. They all have to be college or older. The high schoolers can't cut it with the 3 kids, like 3 kids plus, like even the college kids don't. There was some rough ones, but they were overall better. We ended up going more with the college kids, or like when you get the daycare. I talked about this before, but when you get the kids in daycare at some point or preschool or whatever, like that's a great place.
Steal some teachers,
acquire the best babysitters. You're like, so what's your deal? What are you up to?
I was at the YMCA the other day dropping the kids off, and I heard one of the other moms. I'm not a mom. I heard one of the other parents saying like, "Well, you'll see Miss So and So tonight. Bye. We'll see you soon." And I was like, "You are recruiting YMCA teachers to be babysitters.
You got to grab them up. That's one of the best spots.
Very, very smart."
Yeah. They are, of course, the most expensive. So now you're paying $20 an hour or whatever.
Oh, easily.
More probably now. It's been like 5 years probably since we used a babysitter. So, yeah.
Well, you want to talk fusion release?
Yes. No, I want to do an ad read first since we're sprinkling.
Let's do an ad. This podcast is brought to you by Packetly. Prevent malicious content by using our simple S3 compatible content identification API. You can find more at packetly.com. Links will be in the show notes.
I'm just tickled pink with any tool that is S3 compatible. Like,
it's great.
I just love the idea of like
it's easy.
S3 compatible. Yep. Like you already have some library that connects to S3. You just change this key, and now you're using this other thing over here.
Ever.
Oh, it's so great! I love it. It's like one of these things. I have no interest at all to sell anything to developers. We've talked about this. Terrible customers. But if I ever had an idea for something that was S3 compatible, that could flip me.
I one time looked up all the S3 compatible file systems, and there are like a dozen of them.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, if you're doing some kind of file system thing, right? How could you do
Like
it?
Cloudflare R2, Backblaze
Right.
B2, Azure's, all their stuff, and then like all of these ones that you've never heard of in your life. It's like, we're S3 compatible. Just use the S3 driver, and you're like, that is incredibly smart. Good for you.
DigitalOcean's thing, I think is,
that's right.
whatever their block storage, whatever it's called. Thing. Yeah. Anyway, S3 compatibility, so good, love it. Anyway,
yeah, that's a good hack.
Fusion release on your birthday. You dropped Fusion on the people.
Release.
Blue Steel.
Yes.
It came out.
Yes, gave the people what they wanted. So
how'd it go?
I think it went really well. I think it went really well. It was a tough week. I have done this to myself a whole bunch of times, but there's nothing to learn from here. But it was just like, oh man, I got a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. I've been yet again hoisted by my own petard.
There's always a lot to do.
There's always a lot of hoisting.
When you think you're done.
Yes. And so to my great credit, or rather probably to my wife's great credit, I didn't push it from Monday to Tuesday. I pushed it from Monday to Friday. So that was smart.
Major key. Very
major key. So, Friday comes around and I'm like, I'm not done. It's Friday morning and I'm like, this is not ready. So I sat down, did a little more development, and got it to a place where I was like, okay, this is done enough. Yes, it works. Both one of the things I discovered Thursday night, was that there's like the procedural approach and the class-based approach, and one of the things, like the state syncing on the class-based approach, just didn't work at all. I was like,
well, that's a problem.
Oh, this seems really bad. And I realized I had just never written it. Never, ever written it. Just like, it didn't work because it didn't exist.
That's a problem.
It was in a null state.
I was thinking you should have ditched that class-based one. Like, not maybe forever, but I was wondering if you actually needed it both paths,
It's maybe very funny that you say that, because I have heard almost an exactly equal number of times, well, I really like this one, but I really hate that one. And this and that is the procedural in the class. And it was like, immediately after the talk, people were like, oh, I'm so glad that it's procedural. And people were like, oh, I'm so glad you showed class-based at the end, because I love that. It's like,
I'm sure you'll need them both, but I was just thinking that for launch-wise, it could be that one. But whatever. Obviously,
wisdom would have dictated that I chose one from the beginning. And yet here we are. So I finished up the last bit of the documentation, which, as you noted, is extensive.
Big old readme.
And then, started tuning up just the last few, like, I squashed all the Git history because it was like literally 170 whip commits, every single one.
That little, I thought it might be more. That's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
You gotta squash them.
Yeah, gotta squash them all.
Nobody needs to look back at some.
No, don't want anybody seeing all that. And then it was like 1:30, and I was getting my hairs cut at 2, and I was like, okay, I don't need to turn this live and then go be trapped in the barber chair and freaking out. So I waited, came back, and then I just flipped it. I flipped it live and didn't tell anybody, and like tested it that I could pull it down and install it, because before that, it's like, it's not on Packagist, it's not on public GitHub. It's very hard to have like a full run of testing in a way that a user would actually do it, which is like composer install or composer require. And so I flipped it live, did a little bit of testing, was like, hey, this all actually works. I installed it in a new app, like the NPM stuff worked, everything worked. And so then I took the old video, the launch video, and put together a little tweet thread, and I'm calling it a developer preview, which is like basically another name for alpha, but saying like, hey, y'all, this is literally day one, and I'm competing with like, Next.js that has the power of the Borg behind it and has been, working for 5 years on it, and it's like, this is not going to be as good as that. And so that was a little bit harrowing, just thinking like, this is not as good as, Next or Nuxt or anything else. And so But I'm happy. I'm happy with how the launch went, and I'm happy with the reception so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think you got to get it out there, right? Because you need the feedback. You need people using it. Like at some point, you just have to have devs trying to do stuff with it and see what they say and how it goes and all that stuff. So I saw some people posting about kind of digging into how it works, which I think is usually a good sign. Like if you get some of that traction of like people like doing articles and posts about here's the weird inner workings of how this magic thing works, like that's usually good for just getting the ball rolling on interest and all that. Have you had people, I assume some people have installed it and are tried some stuff out with it, and
I got some
feedback going?
I got a few like, hey, I played with it, it's awesome, way to go. But then I got some that were like, hey, is this how you would do like a counter component in Fusion? And it wasn't. Like, it was not how I would do it. And it's very interesting because there's like it's almost like a mixed paradigm. Like you can declare the state on the back end, but then you don't, like you have your full front end framework and you can just like keep the state down there until you need to send it back. And so it's not like it's not like you got to sync the state back and forth very often. And so I assume it was he had the component, and it was like count was on the back end, and he had tied a click handler to increment, which was a function on the back end that would increment the count. And it's like that,
turning it into Livewire kind
exactly. It's like that works, but you don't need to do that. Send it down, do all the counting in Vue, and then if you ever need to send it back, you can do that with the state syncing, but like you don't keep the state on the back end. And that's one of the things, like this is not their fault. This is like a communication thing, but that's one of the things that I super like about it, is it's basically like an easy way to throw stuff over the wall in either direction. And then once you're over there into front end land, like just live there, do your thing over there, and then come back if you need to. And that is kind of like one of the things I super like about it, is that the lines of demarcation are super clear and between front end and back end.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And like, to me, that's sort of like would be definitely the angle on it for you, because I feel like with the adoption push being more towards like JavaScript developers, right? It's like, like, whereas like Livewire's pitch is to like back-end minded developers, right? It's like, I want everything on the server. I always want it to be on the server. I want to know where everything is based on server variables, and then the front end reacts to that. Whereas the JavaScript crew is obviously generally coming more from the like everything's in the front end, and then occasionally I throw something over the wall to be stored when I want it stored. And so I like that idea of it being like in your examples you eventually build and all that stuff. It's like, look at all this is front endy.
Yes.
And then when you want to store something because you don't want it to get lost or whatever, then great, you push the button and it goes and stores it or whatever. But yeah, it's like mental model wise, that seems like it makes sense if you're going to the JavaScript people for them to,
and that's my entire goal, is to get these JavaScript people over, like lower the barrier to entry into the Laravel ecosystem. I think it would be great for Laravel. I think it would be great for the people that flee the JavaScript backends. The JavaScript front ends are fine, but
backends are weird.
And I think it would be great for us if they came over and were like, Fusion's the way to go. Who is this Aaron person? So it feels like if I could get to a point where JavaScript developers are like, yeah, that seems like a nice onboard ramp for me, it's going to be good for everybody. So that's the hope.
So I guess then, obviously, then it's nice that you're the guy who can do the videos and things like that around the evangelism of this as well. That's obviously in your wheelhouse here. So any progress on how's the Backstage doing, and like the idea of like maybe bringing on some helpers and things like that?
Let me check to see how many people. Just anecdotally, it's been great.
Cool.
It's been very helpful. Lots of like great feedback. I can ask a question and I get 10 people with like well-considered opinions very quickly. 41 people in the Backstage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
No, it's great.
A
And
nice little chunk of money and like a nice group of people to like.
Yeah, and
Because I was
it's like
thinking that too. It'd be nice to have like a. Because I was thinking about this from like what Sanderson does, author Sanderson, where
which I
like,
started listening to that. Maybe we should talk about that.
oh shoot, we should definitely do that. So
well, no. Sorry, I don't want to get you too excited. I started listening to his interview with Tim Ferriss,
Tim
not
Ferriss.
one of his
Yeah,
books.
well, we
but
can talk
still,
about that
we can
too,
talk about that. Yeah.
So I don't know if I think he talked about it in that interview, but like he has like 100 beta readers, and he like sends it out to get feedback on these books he writes before they get published. So that's same. Now that you have like a crew and Backstage who's like. Like this, you could have put it out to them a couple weeks ago if you had this kind of maybe if it was more established at that point.
I actually gave it to them on Monday with the original date. I added them all to the GitHub repo and was like, "Hey, it's not public, but you're free to go look around and tell me what you think." So yeah, totally.
So there you go. That kind of thing would be having a group where you could be like, "Here's an early to some new feature, or whatever it is," and let a small group kick it around before you just release it.
Before I unleash it to the horrors of the internet.
Yeah.
I have my friends that can help me before then.
Exactly. Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Okay, so that's great.
Yeah. So Backstage is going great. Very, very helpful to have thoughtful people giving me, early feedback on. Like I popped in there and was like, "Hey, what do I name these variables? Like these public facing variables? Like what would you expect them to be named?" Got some good feedback on that. Already gotten a lot of interest in the React version and like how it could work in a very React-y way, which is nice because I don't know.
Right.
And yeah, so that all is going super great. I'm very excited about it. Like sometimes I get in this, sometimes I'll do a thing and then like publish it and be like, I don't actually want to like look at that or think about that. It's just like, it's done. I'm kind of over it. Let's like move on. This I'm thinking like, oh, it would be fun if I forked like the inertia view starter kit from Laravel and practiced like turning it into a Fusion starter kit and see what I bump into along the way. Because like right now, I even don't know the best way to submit a form and do validation in Fusion.
Right.
That's a problem. I got to figure that out. Like, and likely I will need to build something to make form submissions like stupid easy. And so I'm excited about that. Whereas, before I would have been like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Don't use it. So I feel good about it. I'm super pumped.
That's good. Are the starter kits out yet? I don't think they're out yet.
The new ones are not. No.
Yeah.
No, I think that's next Monday. Actually, I think it's the 24th. And Taylor just tweeted, "I've got a surprise for the starter kits." Like what? How do you? What are you? Be? I have no idea. I don't know.
Surprise for the starter kits. What could it be?
I don't know. It's not going to be something like Stripe integration in the starter kits. That's just like a long-term maintenance nightmare.
Yeah. And the Stripe stuff. Maybe they're going to do like. Do they still have any pay? Nova's still paid, right? Could they be making like
Nova and Spark are paid. I guess they could make Spark free.
Oh, Spark is still there and paid?
I think Spark is still a thing.
Okay. Well, I know it's still
Nobody talks about it. Yeah. Laravel Spark. Yeah. Wild that Laravel Spark is still a thing.
I could see them
99 and 199. I could see them.
Free, right?
Yeah.
Added in or.
All right. I take it back. This is my prediction. Spark becomes free.
Spark. Yeah, I can see that. And then there's like just an option in the installer that's like throw Spark in so you get
so you can have payments and all this
stuff. I think that would make sense.
Man, I cannot believe Spark is still a thing.
Yeah, well, I guess when Stripe kind of really pushed like their own checkout page thing and as all that
customer
stuff got more
portal
complicated, that kind of maybe took the need for Spark down a notch.
I think it did.
Days. But.
Because I think what Spark ended up becoming was basically a customer portal a la Stripe.
Right. Yeah, it was that earlier. And now I think when you use it, I think I was in there not that long ago looking around and it basically just, there's the option to still do it the old way, but I think you could also just like, it's just a router to the Stripe checkout basically too. And so like, but then still there is, I think it does the user management and stuff, right? If I recall. So like,
yeah, maybe
there was
so.
some other stuff in there.
Well, we'll find out.
Useful. You don't want to build all that.
Yeah, interesting. Man, Sparks bringing back memories. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what the surprise will be, but they've got Tony Lee working on all those starter kits, and I think it seems like Laravel is just executing the perfect playbook. Like having someone in-house building starter kits for, whatever it is, 3 different ecosystems, Livewire, Vue, and React, and maybe a plain Blade one. It just seems like this is the obvious thing to do.
Yeah. Why let all these randos out there sell starter kits? Like, just have first-party awesome starter kits, and like there'll still be a market for like if you want something maybe more,
of course,
farther down, right? So something more sophisticated, then makes sense to release as like a baseline starter kit. But yeah, I think that makes sense. I didn't realize he was building them. I thought, so is he? But he's still doing the developer evangelism too, right? Or no?
You might be mixing 2 people up. Tony.
Okay. Maybe
I don't know that Tony's doing developer evangelism at all. Actually,
all right.
He might be. I don't know, but I know that like Chris Sev, Josh Siri, and Christoph Rumpel are all doing the public facing DevRel stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome now than a full-time person on that. Yeah, I don't know. And Cloud's releasing the 24th too, right?
24th as well. It's all 24th. I know.
All the 24th, big day.
Big day.
Is Laravel 12 that day?
Laravel 12 is that day.
Damn. That's all hands on deck.
That means I got to get some packages updated. I totally forgot about that. Oh, no.
Oh, they're going to be after you.
Oh, they're always after me.
Better get on that.
I know. I need to do that. Now that open source is like part of our business, I need to be a better open source boy.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Or you got to hire somebody.
I know. We've actually we've talked about that, hiring a part-time utility player / open source maintenance person. And I think it's probably in the cards. The goal is to still get screencasting out or get it all recorded before the end of this month. So we probably won't do it because it's the 17th. So we probably won't hire someone before the end of this month, but after that we may look into that. And there are actually some people in the Backstage that like I could, talk to and be like, hey, you're here, you've been around, what's your deal?
Yeah, or even like one-offs. Like you can even start lower commitment. Like, I mean, just to update these packages to Laravel 12, right? Like, okay, here X dollars one time. Like, just get these all updated to Laravel 12. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not. It doesn't even need ongoing, and that's like you could just be sprinkling in one-time contracting.
It's a good idea
along the way until you get where you want, like maybe more of a commitment of somebody part-time or whatever. But could do both. I've had a good experience with a contractor here recently with the new HelpSpot logo. We did a new HelpSpot logo, and I like how that came out. So
yeah, let's talk about HelpSpot. Let's move on to HelpSpot
segment. All right, hold on. This HelpSpot segment is brought to you by Moonbase Labs. We're the rocket fuel your Laravel project needs to reach escape velocity. Houston, we have a solution at moonbaselabs.com. So thank you to Moonbase Labs for sponsoring the HelpSpot segment.
Flawless. All right, I got 2 HelpSpot things. Right. You got a sick new logo, and then recently you posted like an all-time revenue chart, and I kind of want to talk about that. So let's talk sick new logo first.
Sick new logo. So HelpSpot's had kind of 2 logos over the years. There was like the original logo, which was actually pretty cool, but it definitely got a little dated. And then the logo we have now, which I hate, which is just like totally generic, like just lowercase letters kind of thing. And so yeah, one new logo. Tried last year to contract with some people for a logo, totally crashed and burned. They had like and this is a big known entity. It was like not even clip art level, and it was like stolen stuff. Like they had like the Amazon smile thing, and they had like the HP logo. And it's like, this is just like, I don't know, like these are just like super huge company known logos. Like if you're gonna
steal from someone that can't defend themselves.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna go out there with the Amazon smile. Like I don't know, like that's a little, and it's like not even like inspired by. It was like just like really stolen. So
oh man.
So okay, so I lost $3,500 there. Whatever, trash that. And then Dave at Laraconu bumped into Will King, and they were talking about the logo stuff, and so he was interested in doing it. So he did it, and
Will King, who is famous for making logos for Fusion. That's what you mean, yeah, super famous. In case y'all didn't know,
first.
That's why he's so famous.
Fusion and your other open source stuff too, right? Yeah. So he had those really nice logos there, and it's kind of, I don't know if it's just the vibe he's in right now, but it's kind of thick lines and that stuff. I dig that stuff a lot, and so. Yeah, so he whipped us up a HelpSpot logo, and it's like nice. It was like fat. Like for me, the logo is like we are a small company. I'm not like so much worried about the branding. It's not like it's never going to be like everybody knows this logo kind of thing, right? So I don't really care about it. It's like let's spend 6 months on like making sure it's FedEx quality and secret meanings and all this stuff, right? It's like just want something distinctive and that looks good and that maybe has some fun things we could play around with if we want to do some swag or stuff on the website or whatever. So, and I think he nailed it. I was very happy with it. So it looks good. Yeah, so new logo and new color scheme, which will be nice. We're gonna do a new website.
So is this full refresh for HelpSpot?
Full refresh. So I've been working on the new website, and that's like very close to being ready. Here's a little side adventure for you. I was trying to push through, which whatever. I generally try not to do this too much anymore, but I was like, I'm just gonna work. We have half day Friday, so like I'm just gonna work all day Friday. We're gonna work all weekend because it was supposed to snow and freezing rain, and there wasn't gonna be much going on. I'm just gonna get this website done, and then I'm just gonna get like a sort of like generic V1 of it done, and then Will's gonna work with us on like making it a little snazzier, right? Great. And I'd like to get this all done before my trip, which is March 9th, and I'm gonna be away for like a week and a half and whatever. So trying to move it along. Friday afternoon, my parents' house, which we're trying to sell, as we've talked about, right? And is in contract for now months and still hasn't finished closed. And the people asked us not to put too much oil in the tank because they're getting rid of the oil tank and they're replacing it. And we're trying to be nice. And you know when you're nice, it never works out.
Never be nice. No.
It's always the wrong decision in these kind of things.
Being nice is just a cover for being a psychopath also. So you don't be nice. Don't forget. Yeah.
Knowledge we received. Yeah. But yes. I was being nice. And I was like, okay, we'll just put in a little oil. And then we had to put in a little more oil. And so we had them come back. So, of course, it ran out of oil on Friday.
Right.
And it's, freezing temperatures. There's no oil. The house is already down to like 40-something degrees when we figured out that it was out of oil.
Oil? What? I don't even understand oil. Like,
I know.
What, you guys don't have... You guys have, like... What do you guys furnaces from the 40s?
You use wood?
Gas, I guess.
Yeah, my house has natural gas, which is way better, obviously, because it's an infinite supply and pipe.
It is free.
It's very cheap, but a lot of houses use oil up here, so we're burning the dead dinosaurs. I mean, natural gas
serves them right,
cheap, but whatever. Anyway, there's an oil tank there, so we got to get oil. No place will deliver oil. They don't do emergency delivery anymore. Nobody's going to deliver it. They're going to deliver it Monday. Oof. So what we had to do, I don't have any gas tools. I don't have any gas. You can't use regular gas anymore. So I had to go to Lowe's and I had to buy 2 5-gallon gas holding things, right? And then I had to go to gas station.
Spoken like a true expert.
Yeah.
You guys got the gas holding things?
A lot of work at manual labor, okay, here, buddy? So,
good sir, the gas holding things.
What do you have that holds gas in this dump? So, I had to go to the gas station. I had to get diesel fuel because that's basically home heating oil, is just diesel gas. So,
good lord.
Gas. So I bring it to the house, and my brother's there, and we're like trying to figure this thing out. We're dumping the gas in manually.
You're sloshing 10 gallons of diesel through this house.
And so the way it works is there's a pipe that comes out on the outside.
Okay.
So you don't have to go into the house, but we're dumping it down this pipe, but it's a messy process. Diesel fuel is all
of course.
Covered in diesel fuel. We're going back and forth because 10 gallons not gonna be enough because this is Friday, so it's got to make it till Monday, and it's freezing out. So we go 3 runs. We get 30 gallons of diesel fuel. It takes
How
all.
do you end up in situations like this?
It's like so that was Friday. So Friday is shot. Then we were supposed to go away Friday too.
Just
we were gonna do
the concept of gassing up the house. Like you're standing on the outside pouring stuff down a tube. You're like, well, I gotta gas up the house.
I gotta gas it up.
Totally foreign to me. Like
it's crazy.
National Lampoon's level foreign. Like gassing it up. Like,
I
what
did
the
get a picture of
hell?
my brother gassing up the house, and it is quite a funny picture because it's just like,
jeez.
yeah, it's a weird spot. It's a big, 5 gallons of gas. It's heavy. We're trying to lift this thing, try not to spill it all over us, failing at that, it's spilled all over us. Luckily I have a pickup truck. Gotta have a pickup truck.
Gotta have a pickup
Put the
truck.
dirty gas in the back of the pickup truck at least. So we're running back and forth. With
So
the dirty gas.
in your electric truck saving the world, you're schlepping gallons of diesel fuel around and pouring it on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll call that day
It's
a net
perfect.
neutral. Yeah, that one's just even Steven.
Electric car save the world guy. I'm just an electric car's a better guy.
Okay, that's fine. I'm into that. That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was Friday.
So the refresh didn't happen on Friday, is what you're saying.
Saturday, end up running kids around to a million different things till 5 p.m. Saturday shot. So Sunday
I'm just hearing excuses, Ian.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just hearing excuses.
This is where people get mad when people say this, but you gotta do this stuff before you have the kids. You go out there, you start your business, do that stuff before you have the kids. When you have the kids, I've only done this with kids, and it's very hard. They eat into all the time. But
they do.
Anyway, so that was all side adventure on the new HelpSpot website, which is closer to being done than it was, because I did get a lot of work in yesterday, but it is not as done as I wanted it to be. So whatever, it'll be done soon, and then we'll give it a coat of paint, and we'll be off to the races on a new, little bit more wordy, not crazy wordy, but a little bit more wordy
manifesto.
I would not. It's sort of more manifesto in that, like, you have a problem. Here is the problem. It is painful to you. This is the pain. We hear your pain. Here's how we solve it. And we've been solving it for a long time this way. That kind of. So, got a little 2-minute video, which we've never really had done that kind of thing before.
Video guy.
Dave's the video guy. Dave did the producer Dave, that is. Yeah. So that's HelpSpot design land, but nice to have a new logo. Maybe we'll get some swag, do some stuff like that, have it for Laracon, pass out some HelpSpot swag, whatever. Yeah. So
you gotta get, I'm sure HelpSpot swag would do great. You gotta get Ian as Godfather stickers.
I should
use some AI model, make yourself the Godfather.
Or business dad.
Business dad. Print those stickers, leave them on tables, and they would be gone. It'd be perfect.
That's a good idea. Okay, we gotta do that. We gotta do some type of Ian sticker. I want my face on a bunch of laptops somehow.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
No offense to Will King's logo, but I want Ian's face on a bunch of laptops.
Producer Dave, note that we need that for Laracon US. We gotta do something there. I don't know what. We'll figure out something. But some kind of Ian on your laptop.
That's what I want. I won't put it on my laptop personally, but I will goad people into putting it onto their laptops for sure.
I love a good sticker.
Love a good sticker.
I gotta get
these. Oh, of course not. I gotta get these Will King logos turned into stickers because they're like made for that, basically.
Yeah. Will King, I will say, very nice, very fun to work with, very nice to work with. I don't even know how he works his availability. It's not really clear to me. This is a side gig from his, main gig. So I don't know. If you're interested in stuff like this in terms of having something designed, I'd reach out to him. I don't know if he just does it for everybody. I think he might be a little more, taking gigs he's interested in, being particular, but was definitely a great guy to work with on it. So
yeah, he's excellent. Yeah, it was funny because he was there with his company, the company that he works for, Crunchy Data, which is just, a great Postgres host. Really like those people over there. And everybody was coming up to Will and being like, "Oh, you did this logo? Oh, you're gonna come work for Laravel? Oh, Laravel should hire you." And I'm just like, I'm sure that his boss Craig, who's very very funny, I'm sure that his boss Craig is like, "What the hell, man? Everybody's trying to hire you. Like, they need to come buy databases from us." But yeah, he's super nice. I like working with him a lot.
Yeah, I haven't interacted with him too much until more recently, but yeah, he's a good guy. And Craig I've known for a long time on the internet. But
oh, really?
Yeah, just random database stuff, whatever.
Yeah, I met him in person for the first time at EU. Very fun, very funny. Yeah,
I've never met him.
Very dry, very sarcastic, funny guy. Yeah.
I never know. I never know with this stuff with like when people are doing things on the side, you never know how much you're supposed to push them. Should I push them? Should I not push them? Am I going to get them fired? I don't know. I don't want to get them fired. He was in public
No.
at Laravel.
Yeah.
So.
And he only does it on nights and weekends and never on company laptops, obviously. I don't know if that's true, but now it's on the record as being true. So you're welcome, Will. Let's talk HelpSpot total sales by year. So here's something.
Yeah.
You released this this line chart after claiming to Caleb that you need all these fancy charts and everything. He goes and puts out a simple line chart.
I don't know. This chart has ticks.
It's
Caleb says
unbelievable.
his chart doesn't do ticks,
but it has no y-axis, so you should be fine.
This is a full Apple style chart where there's no, when they do their performance stuff, like there's never any like actual numbers. It's like it's like 2x faster, right? It's just better. Like there's no like data of like how much better. That's what I did.
So starting in 2005, you've got barely anything.
It's a little. It was only a couple months.
Had a pretty good run up to 2008. And then the great financial crisis hit, and your trajectory changed a little bit, but it's still quite like pretty good slope from 2005 to 2012. Not a lot wrong with that. Then we hit 2012 to 13 to 20. All the way from 2012 to 2020 is basically a plateau.
Yep.
And then 2020
it's up a little bit every year for the most part, but yes,
not a little bit
project level.
If you zoom out, that's flat from 2012 to 2020, and then 2020 to 2021, we got a huge jump, and then it leveled out again. So walk us through. I think the thing I'm primarily interested in is this 2012 to 20 kind of plateau, and then how you got out of that, because that's a big old jump from 2020 to 2021.
Yeah, so I think it's like so the early years are that was kind of like the people moving to help desk software from client server to web-based help desk software, and so there was just like kind of a lot of, it's like people building AI stuff now, right? It's like there's a lot of interest, although I don't know if you've seen as many like actual AI tools being successful, which is sort of an interesting side thing. But anyway, and then 2011 you start to have like the Zendesks and those really big funded SaaSes and stuff start to take off. So that's kind of like the start of the plateau, I would say. But also in combination with like kids getting to be like, I think by then, by 2011 we have 2 of the 3 kids, and then by 2013 we have all 3 kids. And so I also just like took a different tack of like, whatever, I've to spend time on other things now. Like I just can't work all the time, and so I was fine there. It's also like 2011 is like there's enough money that not that I don't have to worry about money at all, because it's never made that level of money, but it's like it makes good money. If we stay around this level, it's fine. Level of money. And so that wasn't that much urgency in that point. And then like mostly then it's more about like just obviously over time you have to pay people more because they grow with the company, or just and wages go up in general, inflation, all that stuff. So that's the part where it's like, okay, like keeping the growth more on that end, just to like, you don't want to run into any issues there. But yeah, so it was like, it's actually, it seems flat on this chart, but it's not quite as flat as you might think. I bet you it's still like 15% higher or something like that. But yeah, it's like chipping along. 2020, couple things. Definitely like sales increase. I think like partially you have like COVID and stuff. You have people buying software and things like that, and then you have we tend to do well in like economic uncertain times too, because we are generally much less expensive than like your Zendesk and things like that. So I think that is a bit of a factor also there. And then also we did a big price increase, which is something that people don't always think about. People that don't like to increase prices, but I've always been pretty good about increasing prices along the way. So price increases also in there. 2015 we started HelpSpot Cloud, where we would host it for people, and then all those years we were adding people to HelpSpot Cloud, which is like a really big process of like migrating people off their on-premise servers into the cloud servers. And so as that builds up, then you have more like a locked-in recurring revenue situation. Because to be on HelpSpot Cloud, you have to have a subscription, whereas the older installs, it's optional. Basically, it's like support contracts, so you don't have to renew it. And so some people don't and still use the software. So you kind of have a few different things going on there, but it's like a recurring revenue, price increase, increased sales, kind of all coming together in that time frame. And then and then mostly just again kind of like in a neutral zone the last couple of years. But that's where we're getting back into marketing, more focused on it. New website, got some different ideas for maybe some paid marketing, which we've never done really paid marketing and things like that. So yeah, but I think a lot of it is kind of like what my tweet or whatever was like, this is sort of the real software world, right? Like, it's like people like to post the chart, like it's just up, or your ConvertKit, and it's like only up, and now we have 5 employees, 10 employees, 100 employees, right? And it's like up every year. But like, there's so many software businesses that are just much more like this, like that are successful software businesses that are like, hey, we had a good idea, we got it to a certain point, and then we're kind of like coasting at that point. Like it goes up a little bit every year, and maybe you have some big ups, or maybe you have a couple big downs in there, here and there. But like, you're just servicing your customers for the most part, and you're getting those expansion sales when people move to other businesses or whatever, or inside the same organizations. But you're just kind of showing up every day with your lunch pail and doing the work, and that's kind of like that's what I've been doing for 20 years, which is freaking insane, actually.
A working man business owner.
Yeah. You just show up and take care of the customers, and then that's it.
20 years is crazy, by the way.
Right?
Crazy.
It's crazy. Now when I look back at it, I'm like, boy, it's starting to get, I didn't used to feel this way, but in the last couple of years, I've gotten really, I don't know if it's like the AI stuff maybe, but it's like 2005, 2004 is now like a really long time ago in the internet. It's like now it's like several phases of the internet ago, right?
Yes.
So like now it's like, oh man, like it was like 2011, you had kind of like social media rise, and it's like, should we have social media connectors and all this stuff, which we never did. Now you have like AI, which we're doing more with AI than we do with social, but yeah, I don't know. So it's like multiple phases of the internet. It's like,
I mean, 2005 was like maybe the very beginnings of Web 2.0. Like, do you remember like Ajax becoming a thing?
Yeah,
and it was like
the beginning
Web
of
2.0.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going on? And
Yep.
There were a lot of phases between then and now. That's crazy. 20 years.
Yep. 20 years. So I don't know. I would like to have this chart have another little peak. We'll see in a couple of years if we can do another big. We get one more big run, then that'd be nice. Kind of run it up one more time. I think a new plateau level would be pretty cool.
Run it up, drive it off the cliff, sell it to somebody else.
Cliff. Either way, either could happen. Hopefully not drive it totally off the cliff, but run it out another 15 years or so.
15 years. Yeah. Another 15 years?
Yeah, what else am I going to do? I don't know. I
don't
know how to do anything
moly.
Else. This is what I do. Even if I sold this, I'd probably just do like another help desk type product. Like I don't have any other ideas. All my other ideas are bad. So it's like, I don't know. At some point in here, we might get into Ian does a side project phase, which does happen sometimes.
You keep saying this. This is all I want for you, Ian, is for you to just do a bunch of weird content. Stuff.
Yeah, like these like long running things on HelpSpot are not like the
this
best
long
content,
stable stuff where it's like, oh, I thought about doing a thing, and then I realized that it was a lot of work, and we'll just spend the money on marketing. It's like, no, that's terrible content.
Or I'm doing a new website. I'm taking like 6 months to do it. And
what the hell? Like, you got to be a little more reckless. I'm carrying the reckless side of the show here.
You are. Maybe if I do some paid marketing, that could be my reckless contribution. Because
there we go.
I'm blowing some cash.
Yes, we need a little chaos.
This is not, I just blew 15 grand and like we got
that's
trial
great.
Signups, like that could, I could come in here and cry.
I would love for you to blow 15 grand. That would be great content. Exactly. It would be amazing.
So we might get to that. Yeah. So I don't know. I just think it's cool to like, I don't know. I just think the stability is an interesting aspect of it, even though it's like not the like sort of what you envision when people think I'm going to start a software company and like, it's going to be all straight up and blah, blah. It's like, it's straight up for a little while and then, it might plateau and that's fine. Like,
I mean, it's got to be nice that you've had like one down year. No, two down years in 20 years. There are 2 years where the revenue was less than the year before. Right.
That's the way I look at it, right? Like, that's the way I look at it. That's where, to me, like, the plateaus are not, like, so plateauy, because it's like, well, we made more money than last year, and we're not out here, we're not going Laravel Inc. and, like, hiring everybody and then getting overextended, and then not that they're doing that part, right? But like I never was like, oh, I'm going to hire a bunch of people and really like push it and like hire farther than I should, dangerously far, right? It's like I've always been pretty conservative with that. We have the core group that we need to run things, and so yeah, even like and both the down years were like pretty slight, so it's fine. And even they're so slight that some of them might have been even like, whatever. It's towards the end of the year. We sometimes play some games around like, do we want to incur this revenue this year or not? Because like people send us checks, so like we'd be like, well, maybe the end of December we'll just hold on to these couple checks and whatever. The accountant games.
That, my friends, is called tax avoidance, and it is 100% legal.
Listen, we're getting rid of all the IRS agents. I just saw the other day.
The moment you cross the line, you end up in tax evasion, and you go straight to jail. But sitting on a check for a week, that's tax avoidance, my friends.
That's right. It's totally legal. I don't have to cash. There's no law that I have to cash this check.
Nope. Yeah. Nope. I think you have like 90 days until the check, expires. And so like, great. We'll recognize it when we recognize it.
Yeah. Another interesting thing I didn't put on this chart, I could have had a second line. I don't know if Caleb's chart does 2 lines. I think it does.
Wow, we'll find out.
Or really, I would need an area, actually. I really wonder if it does an area. I would need an area
I
chart
guarantee
to do it
you it does not do an area.
to do this correctly, I need an area chart.
That sounds insane.
But in here, too, we have like other revenue streams. Not in this chart, though. This chart is just HelpSpot. So along the way, we've added, like we did Laracons for a while, right? And then we still do Lara Jobs. So then there's these new revenue streams on top of this. They're minor in comparison to HelpSpot, but they're still not nothing.
But they exist, yeah.
Yeah, they exist and are a reasonable amount of money. So yeah, so that's there too.
What's the rest of the portfolio? Don't you have like an NPS thing as well?
So
is that dead?
That was quasi dead. That was just Ian's side thing that like Ian doesn't then have time to run 2 products, so never really went anywhere. I ended up giving that effectively to Titan.
Oh,
and they are now running it and they rebuilt it and are going to market it more in theory, although they've kind of lost track of it a little bit too, so it's kind of just sitting there the way it's sat here, but we will see. It will hopefully it is sort of an interesting tool. But
there was that. There was Snappy was a full-on exploration, right? That didn't pan out.
That was like Taylor built that, and Eric so this was like in 2010. Was like
oh wow, so that's way back.
Or was it 2012 somewhere? Yeah, it's in there. It was way back. It was like a new help desk platform, like a SaaS help desk platform.
And then Laracon online, which you don't do anymore because they're all back, or what?
Well, Laracon in person, the first 2 Laracon USs, and then Laracon online.
You were a partner in the first like in-person ones?
Yeah. I would say I was like, we should do a conference. And then we did it. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep. And then after the first couple, so Taylor left after the first one, I think. And then we still did the second one. And then the third one, he just like kind of started taking him over. And then I did, then like 2017, I think we started Laracon Online. Yeah, did that. Now it's kind of run its course. I don't know if I wonder if we'll do another Laracon Online. I don't know. Maybe someday.
I don't know. It's tough because it feels like there's a Laracon every 3 months now.
Yeah, now that there's so many Laracons and they all stream them, and it's like you're just gonna have the same people come on and give like the talk they just gave at Laracon EU or whatever.
Yeah, it feels tough.
We did talk about maybe doing a different sort of thing, like could you do like a business of Laravel type, something where it's more
that's the mostly technical conference. Right. Yeah,
go into the most.
Don't give that one away. That one's ours.
Yeah. So, and I mean, at this point, like they're busy with so much other stuff. Like Taylor, I'm sure, doesn't want to deal with like another conference or whatever. So
no.
So I think at least for now it's on hiatus. And then Lara Jobs started also in like 2013 or something. So I've been going since then.
So the 2 going concerns: HelpSpot, Lara Jobs.
Yeah, HelpSpot, Lara Jobs. We do some consulting for HelpSpot very occasionally, not as much as we used to, but sometimes they'll be like mostly it tends to be around
services revenue for
services revenue. Yeah, but like I think our biggest year was like maybe like 35,000 or something, so like not a lot. And last year it's been less. It's really just if like somebody's coming on who's new, but they need like something connected, or they really need a report that does something that the built-in ones don't do, then we'll build them something custom. But that's just kind of here and there. And most of the time, it's like we're not really charging them too much because it's like mostly to get the sale and get them in the fold, because most of our customers end up staying a long time. So it's like you just want to make the sale,
right,
and then let them renew for
break even on the services, so you get paid on the subscription.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Yep.
Wow, 20 years. Well done.
20 years. Oh, you guys are almost to 1. When's 1?
Almost.
Soon. Yeah.
Yeah, probably
right?
2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
Wow. Holy cow.
I know.
It goes fast, man. Before you know it, it'll be 20 years.
Boy, you're telling me.
All right, we got another important topic here, though.
We got an important topic. I'll give it a tease. We got to talk about these microwave power settings. But before we do, this microwave is brought to you by Bento. Bento is the email service provider that we use at Try Hard Studios for both marketing and transactional emails. Very good deliverability. Check it out at bentonow.com. Thanks to Jesse and Bento for sponsoring the show. Bento gets the microwave section, arguably the most important section of the podcast. Here's the deal. Came home from church yesterday. I'm like, you know what I want? Just want some nachos, man. Just right down the middle. Some chips, some cheese. That's it. Here's the deal.
Wait, just chips and cheese?
That's nachos, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, you dip it in some salsa, but that's nachos.
I usually put like stuff on it. What about some meat and some like jalapenos and salsa on it, maybe? No,
boy,
chips and cheese. What
kind of life of luxury do you think I'm leading that I've got time to put some meat and jalapenos and make some nachos?
This is like some movie theater nachos you're talking about here. This is like some lowbrow
no, the cheese
nachos.
didn't come from a can, so it's better than that, or like a squirt pump.
It's a little dry.
Well, one, what do you expect from me? Two, what kind of life am I leading that I can come home from church and get 4 kids fed and make gourmet nachos? Not gonna happen.
All right.
So I got this cheese.
I've been making sheet pan nachos, just a little side adventure.
Okay, so that's nice.
You take the sheet pan.
Yep.
Chips. Stuff. I like to put stuff. You put stuff.
Yeah.
You put cheese on top. Sheet pan in the oven. Take it out. It's wonderful.
And then it's a sheet pan of nachos when it comes out.
And then you have to with the microwave make your chips soft and stuff. But anyway, continue.
Well, we're about to find out. Here's the deal. So I go up to the microwave and I've got this plate full of cheese, basically, right?
Right.
And if you just hit like 30 seconds 3 times,
right,
you're gonna end up with a boiling plate of cheese.
Yes.
Right? So you'll have a few strands that are unmelted. Just in these little nooks,
right,
and a few parts that are literally bubbling,
right,
because they're overheated, right?
Fire hazard in there.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Right.
And that's what causes the chips to get soggy because you overdo it in certain parts, and so it's like I'm not doing that. So I punch in 30% for like 5.5 minutes.
Intriguing. I don't think I've ever used the power percentage thing ever. I'm like 100%.
Man.
Time. That's it.
You are missing out. So 5 minutes later, I come back. I pull the plate out. Perfectly even melt.
Wow,
even melt. No bubbles and no remaining individual it was shredded cheese, so no remaining individual strands of cheese.
Wow.
Perfectly melted, as
what was
if
the heat level?
It just came out of the oven. That's how even it was. Heat level was perfect.
It wasn't burning hot or anything.
It wasn't burning hot, and it wasn't like, oh, this used to be hot. It was like, no, this is perfect.
So 30%.
30%
for 5 minutes.
Yes.
And you let it go the whole 5 minutes.
Let it go the whole 5 minutes.
So this is very intriguing.
So the deal is when you have some, like, I think Chris Vidal mentioned like melting butter. You don't want to just put the butter in and hit 30.
Right.
Because then you come back and it's like boiling lava hot.
Yeah, you definitely, and it's also like not all melted necessarily.
Exactly.
But yeah.
But you do want it to like fully melt through, so you turn the power down and the time up, and that gives it more even cooking. And I'm sold. I think it's the way to go.
there is something I think because the microwave, the way it works, right, is like the waves are bouncing around, and so like
Impossible
by making it quicker, they don't like actually hit everything enough, right? So I think like by extending it, presumably you're getting more wave to item action more evenly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if any of that's right, but sure.
It's the waves. The waves are in there, man.
All I know is that the waves are very small. That's all I can glean from the name.
So now your microwave percentage man. Are you doing everything this way now?
I'm power setting guy for sure.
Are you doing everything this way?
So
if you're reheating leftovers, what are you gonna do?
So I don't know why they're all related to cheese, but I was reheating pizza the other day.
Okay.
And I turned the power down because the worst thing about reheating pizza in the microwave is the edges can get really hot and then the middle stays relatively cold. And so then that is one of the worst things. What's worse than that?
It gets all floppy and gross.
Yeah, it's not great. But if you turn the power down and the time up, then it heats evenly, and you don't have the cold middle and the burned or the boiling edges. So I think I'm power guy on almost everything. Now, in most cases, cheese notwithstanding, I will do 80%, 70%, and bump the time up a little bit instead of just going.
Doing this, or this is new?
This is a new house thing. So we got a new house where the power setting is easily accessible on the microwave. And it's like, what's this all about? And I tried it. I'm sold.
So let's go back to pizza for 1 second. Because microwave pizza is far and away the worst way to eat pizza. You should never eat microwave pizza.
The worst way to eat pizza.
Don't eat microwave pizza. Just stop.
Yeah, that's probably true. Okay. Yeah. But from what I understand about people that like skiing, it's like a bad day of skiing is still great. A bad pizza is still great. Well, as long as it's not like a salad pizza.
Skiing for this analogy. A bad day.
This is a family-friendly show. This is a family-friendly show, Ian.
You're dead on the side.
When the skiing's great, it's great. When the skiing's terrible, it's still pretty good. That's a skiing thing.
Here's the thing. Number one way to eat leftover pizza is you have one of those we have one of these, a little toaster oven on your counter. Because they get hot fast.
Yeah.
Put a slice in there. It makes it nice and crispy and melty.
I agree.
Unbelievable. And it's like 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
The next best way is cold. Because you just want the instant satisfaction, and cold pizza has its own vibe. Third best way is the oven. So you start your oven, you do the whole thing. It's going to take you 30 minutes, whatever. And then the fourth best way is microwave. But there's one way above the oven that I used to do when I had an embarrassment of time. I'd get a pan and put it on the range, the stove top. Okay.
And then
I can buy that.
And then you get a piece of foil out and you curl it into a circle, and you like push it. You get the pizza on the little pan, and then you push the little foil, and so you make just like a little bitty oven, basically.
Yeah.
But very, very close to the pizza. And
that
crisps up the bottom, but also melts the cheese on the top.
Ooh.
It was great. It was perfect. But I don't have time to do that. That's the problem. Am I going to spend 10 minutes reheating a piece of pizza? No, I'm going to throw it in, hit it on 30% for 5, walk away, wipe some noses, get some milk, get the color straw that I was supposed to get. I'm sorry, I got the wrong color straw. And then come back and my pizza's ready,
Well, you went wrong here a little bit. You got this new house. You didn't get the induction cooktop. You need an induction cooktop.
It's induction.
Is it?
It is.
It's electric, I thought. Or is it
it's induction.
Oh,
it's
so
induction.
Your pan heats in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, but I can't mind a pan while I'm minding 4 children,
Okay. Yeah, the wrong straw stuff, man. That stuff's brutal. I don't like the wrong straw stuff.
That stuff's brutal.
Yeah.
You gotta give them some choices that don't matter, and straw color is one of them, because they literally can't choose anything else in their life, and so you're like, okay, I'll get you a green straw. That's fine. I will allow it.
Man, oh man, are the 1-year-olds, how are they doing? Are they they're talking and stuff? They must be talking a little bit, right?
A lot, yes.
Okay.
Lots and lots and lots of talking.
All right.
Lots of from the girl, lots of uh-oh. All she knows is uh-oh. She wants something, uh-oh. Something fell, uh-oh. Mommy, uh-oh.
Get the video of that. You're gonna want the video of that, man.
I know. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. It's like, what are you uh-ohing? And the little boy is very dada, which is just the sweetest thing ever. Yeah. It's the freaking best. It's so good.
You did post a very cute picture
Yes.
You on the tree swing, I believe.
Yep.
With the 2 little ones, I
The
believe.
2 little ones. Yep.
Yeah.
I was swinging with the 2 1-year-olds in my lap.
Cute. That's such a great
the
time.
best. Watching them laugh and smile, and it was sunny and 60, and I didn't have an open source library that was waiting to be released, and so I'm just like swinging. It was great.
Oh man, yeah, that's awesome. Those are the good moments. I love those.
Yeah,
moments.
it really was. And it's funny how Jennifer surreptitiously took the picture, and it's funny how looking at the picture of yourself from that outside perspective really solidifies that oh, this is good. This is a good thing.
Yep. And you get into, I've been having a lot of the nostalgia phase of this stuff, because I think I talked about this, but we got this digital picture frame, which is awesome, from Aurora. And so now I have all these pictures that are rotating through, all my favorite pictures. It's oh man, they're just all big now. And the big phase is awesome in its own ways, but that oh man, when they're just 2 to 10,
I know,
just so good. There's just so many cute little things and all this stuff. So yeah, it is you gotta appreciate that phase when you're in it, even though it's incredibly hard because you're exhausted.
Yeah,
running a business, and they're keeping up at night and all the other stuff. But
we have started. Oh my gosh, it's the best dad hack ever. When I put the big kids to bed, we've started going up a little bit earlier just to separate the chaos a little bit. So I'll take the big kids up at 6, and we play in their room for an hour. And then go to bed, right?
Yeah.
The new game that they want to play is they are mommy and daddy, and I am a baby. And so I lay down on the floor, and they put a blanket over me. They get me a pillow. They kiss me on the forehead, and they say, night, night. If you hear any storms, you can just call for me, and I'll come help you. And I just get to lay on the floor with a blanket.
Beautiful.
It's awesome.
They're like, Daddy, wake up. You're actually sleeping.
The best dad hack ever. It's hey, you guys want to play Dad Takes a Nap? Yeah. It's perfect. So that's a new game that I'm very much behind, because then I just lay on the floor and watch them play, and they pretend that they're comforting me because of the storms. This is perfect.
Are they in couch fort phase yet?
They are, very much so.
I like couch fort phase too.
I am currently every night putting blankets over their cribs because it's forts. Do you want me to build your fort tonight? Yes. Okay. So yeah, we can't see a gosh dang thing on the monitor because they're in their cribs with these blankets over them, but whatever. They're 3.5. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're big. They're all right now. Oh jeez. All right, man. Well, sounds good. I guess, what are you doing this week? You just new adventures, or you're just fusioning it?
Fusion and screencasting recording.
It's gonna be a short week for you too. So
is it?
Well, because you're off today. You're
because I'm not working today. That's right.
You're not working today. No working.
I'm being a hipster. I want to see some
photos.
Yeah.
Photos.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea.
You can do it.
I can do it.
Have a nice meal. Get a nice meal. Do you have a reservation somewhere? You're gonna. We don't need a reservation by yourself. You're gonna go to have a fancy steak dinner. Get a steak dinner.
I'll probably get a steak dinner because I opted not to do the very expensive spa day. I'll probably do a relatively expensive dinner.
Yeah. Get out there, have a nice dinner. I love sitting at the bar. Sit at the bar by yourself. Nice steak dinner.
It's like the ultimate. It's the ultimate flex of being comfortable with thyself to go to a restaurant by yourself with a book and sit at a proper table and just read a book at dinner.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be great.
I love it.
It's gonna be great.
Good, old school.
Yep.
Rockefeller.
That's right. Exactly.
Vanderbilt.
Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should get a book on a robber baron and read that, because that's kind of
that mindset going.
That's right. That's what I want to be.
That's a really good idea. I kind of like that. I might do that, actually. I might steal that idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Because I need that, like what we were saying, I'm building up more marketing in 2025, all that kind of stuff. Robber baron mentality is going to
got to be a little more ruthless. Got to be a little more crushing.
Yes. Yeah.
I like
Even
that.
in the content, right? It's like, you got to say why your life sucks and why you need our product, right?
I agree.
You got to be overt. That's
can't be shy about that. I agree.
I've always been too shy about that. Less shy this year on that.
All right, deal. We'll go full Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I like it. We are the robber barons of the Laravel community.
Yes, exactly. All right, man. Have a good week.
All right.
Talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye.